guys, what's up? It's Joe Ready from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Jacobs Mitsubishi, Wesley Chapel, and guess what? We have that iconic Japanese supercar. What am I talking about? This car right here. This is that second generation of the mighty Acura NSX. But before we get into this misunderstood NSX, let's talk about what's going on here. So the original NSX, believe it or not, debuted in 1989 at the Chicago Auto Show. The first year of production was 1991. That generation of NSX was all about purity, lightness, a high revving V6. When the second gen debuted in 2016 and its first year of production was 2017, things were quite different. Gone was a naturally aspirated V6. Gone was super lightweight. And in its place was modern technology of a performance hybrid. Now today, in the auto industry, performance hybrids are all over the place. But back in 2017, which that, like I said, is the first model year of production of this vehicle, it was almost a car ahead of its time because a lot of people didn't understand it. They didn't understand, how can you have a hybrid supercar? And I feel like this car never quite received the love that it deserved, even to this day, even with the Type S version that came during that final year. So what I want to find out is, if you're looking for a supercar, and you've been thinking about an E-Ray, you've been thinking about a C8 E-Ray, which is, for most intent and purposes, similar to this vehicle with that V8 naturally aspirated and the electric motor. Do you go with that C8 E-Ray, or do you now finally understand the purpose of this NSX and go with the NSX? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this one and see if we can find out. Right off the bat, I love the proportions of the NSX. It's got a great look to it. And I remember them talking about how there was going to be a V10 and a V8 and this and that, and it took forever for this car to finally make production. But from a styling standpoint, they got it spot on the money. Now at the front of the business, you'll notice that multi-jewel LED headlight design that is unique to Acura. Love how thin the headlight housing is. You got your LED daytime running lamp and turn signal. And then you're gonna have this honeycomb flat black grille that's fully functional to bring air for the heat exchanger and an air curtain. And then you'll notice a blending of more of that beautiful white with the flat black on the splitter extension. One of the things I don't love about this generation of the NSX is the shiny chrome finish. We could do without that. This is a supercar, not a luxury car. And the sad thing is, it actually gets worse as I move over. So let's go ahead, come across the front end. You do have that, like I said, that aluminum shiny, bright finish. Doesn't fit the attitude of this car. Then you have your gloss black functionality in the center, and then of course the larger opening down in between. Now, with that splitter, as you can see, it extends from one side to the other to help with the downforce. And Acura has always had that unique style where it comes to a point, just like their badging. And it's crazy to think that Acura's been around since 1986. So it was only 3 years in when they debuted the NSX at the Chicago Auto Show. How crazy is that? 1986, I was 13 years old. I wish I could have gone. That would have been a special moment. But let me know what you think about the front of this NSX. Now the NSX, like I said, it lasted from 2017 to 2022. This design was from 2017 to 2021, basically. And then the Type S got the look that really all of them should have had since day one. I like this, I don't love it. That's just me. Now, as you rise up, you do have your front mounted hood. There's no frunk underneath, no storage. Love the way you have your aero pieces with the heat extractors and the aero devices. Within the nose, that honeycomb killer bee wire mesh finish, that really gives it a nice attitude. Now, as we come around the bend, what do we work with? This one in particular has the upgraded forged wheel. So you have your V-spoke wheel, love that shark gray finish. And then check out our Chicago deep dish pizza style rotors. Carbon ceramic brake rotors, 2-piece with those bright tomato sauce red Brembo calipers with the NSX badge. If you're wondering, well, Joe, what is the size of the wheel? 19-inch wheel up front. Tires are 245 on the width, 35 series on the sidewall. Now, here's the interesting thing. This NSX, even though it's heavier than the previous generation, it is lighter than the E-Ray. And it's interesting that it is because it actually has 3 electric motors. 1 motor on each wheel up front, and then you have a motor sandwiched between the DCT transmission and the engine. That's going to give us that super handling all-wheel drive. But it's nothing but the business when it comes to braking. Those carbon ceramic brake rotors not only look badass, but they're going to stop you so quick your eyeballs are going to pop out of your head. Now, coming down the side, I'm going to have Steven kind of swing around. I like the way they worked some of that aero in there. With our particular one, I love the Stormtrooper look. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Not really the biggest Star Trek fan, just to be honest, but because I'm a Star Wars fan, I love the Stormtrooper look. You do have our black painted roof. They kept the actual door frame and rear pillar body color, and then you have a mixture of the gloss black, the turn signals, and your bright white on the side mirror. Now, flush door handles. Eventually these would be painted depending on what year, but the first year, which this is a 2017, they are the bright silver, and basically you just lift and open that way. One of my other favorite parts are the massive side air intakes, that honeycomb finish for the intercoolers, the engine, and even the way they did the aero back here. I mean, this piece right here is just absolutely sexy. You actually have functionality in there. So that's where this car compared to an E-Ray, E-Ray looks good. It don't look as good as this car. You park the E-Ray next to this car, the E-Ray is gonna look like a monster truck. It just does. It's a big car. You may not think it's big, park it next to this. This portion here really is telling. Love the way it's got that rainbow style body line, and it's nice and low and short. Remember, the C8 E-Ray comes back at an angle and it goes really far back because you got to get those golf clubs, right? Got to go play golf in your E-Ray. Not with an NSX. You don't have to worry about fitting the golf clubs in there. So you have that sexier body line. Now, dropping our way down, what do we got out back? You actually have 20-inch wheels. So 19 up front, 20-inch wheels in diameter. Still got those ceramic brake rotors. Golly, those are ginormous. 4-piston Brembos. Tires out back are 305, so we actually have more rubber to meet the road. Of course, you got limited slip diff and all that other good stuff. And you got the super handling all-wheel drive. Now, as we swing it around back, I love the way they styled that nice little kick-up. Looking great. And then underneath the glass, you have, of course, your engine build number, and there is the heart. It almost looks like an alien heart from planet Uranus. Looks really, really good, especially when you pop this rear hatch, which we will. Just like up front, all that LED lighting, even the way the lighting comes across here, comes to that point with the Acura badge. And then I love the fact that we got the functionality on the rear side, in the middle, and on the other side to let all that hot air come out from the exhaust. Central exhaust, I know a lot of people are gonna say, hey, that looks like an HDMI port. It's not the sexiest exhaust, but if you ever get a chance to hear one of these with a modded exhaust, golly, it sounds ridiculous. Absolutely, and I wish Acura being Acura, especially back then, they were all about quiet. It does have some sound, it's just not as loud as you'd think. And then that massive rear diffuser back there helps suck this thing to the ground. Just like some people that maybe you know that can suck the chrome off a bumper. This thing is gonna be sucked to the ground. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop that rear engine hatch and take a look at the heart of this NSX. All right, guys, as promised, I have that rear hatch open. You do have about 4 cubic feet of space back here. There is a big hump, though, because of the exhaust and the gearbox and all the other goodies. But there it is. You got your build number, built here in the United States, if you could believe that. Twin turbo V6 with the 3 electric motors. How much we got? 573 horsepower, 476 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 9-speed DCT. That's a dual clutch transmission. It houses a 1 kilowatt lithium ion battery pack. 0 to 60 in a mind-boggling 3 seconds, quarter mile and 11.1 at 127 miles an hour. Top speed around 191 miles an hour. The car weighs right around 3,868 pounds. MPG's not too shabby for a supercar. 21 in the city, 22 on the highway. So quite respectable on those numbers, even though it is a supercar, and I know that's never really a big consideration, but always nice to kind of brag. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to that moment. Let's fire up this NSX and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we are inside this 2017 first year of the second gen NSX. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm sorry. I want to tell the Acura NSX I'm sorry for hating on it as much as I did. I just didn't know. The car was so ahead of its time. Now I want an E-Ray, but now you got me thinking about the NSX. I love it. I want it. How much is it? This particular one, asking price is $129,000. It is a bit more than a brand new E-Ray, but you're not going to see many of these on the road, and this one looks so freaking good, I have to admit. But let's see what you get, especially back in 2017 in an NSX. To the door panels. Love the leather. Love the Alcantara. I'm going to have to zonk the gloss black on the door handle. That's kind of stupid to put gloss black on a door handle. But the nice aluminum silver looks good. You got the soft touch on the armrest. No gloss black around the switchgear. And no door pocket. You're not eating in my NSX. Now going from the door panel to the dash, I love the leather, the Alcantara. Look at the way they took some of that honeycomb design from the outside and brought it to the inside. Kind of nifty the way they did that. Slide on in. Don't knock it until you try it. It's a 7-inch infotainment system screen. Yes, it's not as big as the screens in today's cars. But if you get a 2025 E-Ray, an E-Ray is an 8-inch. So this is 1 inch smaller. But this is back in 2017. We're talking about almost 10 years ago. It is touchscreen. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw it into reverse. Backup camera, not the best resolution. But you know what? Today's Acuras don't have the best resolution either. You do have the trajectory lines, and you can adjust your camera angle, which is great. And then we're right back where we started. Working your way down, you do have your AC controls, dual climate with the digital readouts, the dynamic mode selector. You turn this, and that's going to make adjustments on the dash. I'll show you that when you come to the business side. 3 stages of heated seats. I do have to zonk that there's no ventilated seats. That's unforgivable. This here is going to control that 9-speed dual clutch transmission. The NSX embossed in the Alcantara. A little cubby for your Tic Tacs. And then there's your Acura key fob. It actually says NSX, so you can show all your friends. And then the nice thing is you do get a little Twinkie cubby back here. 5 Twinkies, a USB-A, and then you got the seats. The leather, nice bolstering, full electric assist for the passenger, full electric assist for the driver, and we do have the ELS Studio sound system in here. The other zonk is no Alcantara on the headliner. Alcantara on the glove box, but not on the headliner. That's a zonk. But I still love this interior. I just love the way I fit in here. It's made for me, not for you. Why don't you come over to the business side? I want to show you behind the flat bottom wheel in this NSX. All right, guys, business time in this 2017 NSX. I would love to show you the pedal box, but it's a huge zonk. There's no aluminum pedals. That to me is another big no-no. You do get 2 memory seat settings for the driver's seat, and your seat controls are very easily accessible, especially the lower lumbar. I'm 6 feet tall, and there's plenty of room in here, so it feels really good. Steering wheel, love it. The flat bottom, a little bit of silver, black on all the controls. You do have paddles on the back of the wheel. They are metal to go up and down that 9-speed dual clutch. It is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel, and then you have your digital gauge cluster, which, like I said, you can go through a cornucopia of information and the modes. So nice to see the different modes from Sport Plus. You could go into Sport, Quiet, so you could drive this in EV, and then back to Sport Plus. That's where we're gonna be living our life right now, is in Sport Plus. But why don't we go ahead? Like I said, there's no front mounted trunk like an E-Ray. I don't know if that's important to you. It's not important to me. What is important is we're gonna go on throttle in this NSX. So get the hell in the passenger seat and let's go. All right, guys, we are inside this 2017 Acura NSX. It was a car really ahead of its time. Because like I said, think about all the brands now, including Lamborghini with the Huracan replacement, that have hybrid performance vehicles. But of course, we got to do it Rady's Ride style, right? We got to go on throttle. On throttle, here we go! Nice, look at this. The handling of this vehicle is second to none. And a lot of it has to do with it being a hybrid. Remember, you have that lithium-ion battery pack that helps lower the center of gravity of this thing, and it really just helps with overall drivability and handling. Nice, the all-wheel drive, keeping us planted. Very balanced, very secure. Brakes, jeez Louise, make my eyes pop out of my freaking head. That's how intense they are. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And with the electric motors, you're not feeling any kind of lag from the turbos. There's no boost lag. The torque is so linear and it comes in nice and low because of the electric motors. Now, obviously the C8 E-Ray does have the better setup, but like I said, for 2017, nobody was doing this. They weren't doing it like this. So really, really awesome to be able to feature this car again for you, because it's a very, very special car. You got those paddles behind the wheel, easy to get to, easy reach. Let's go on throttle from a dead stop. Nobody's behind us. Ready? On throttle, here we go! I like the way I can hear the sounds coming from behind me, right over my shoulder. I just wish the exhaust was a little bit louder. That's the one thing I'm really, really wishing that it had. Now what you do is you hold the mode selector button. Once you're in Sport Plus mode, which that's what we're in, you want to hold it, and then that's going to put you in track mode. And that's going to activate things like launch control. Easy to drive this car though. Watch this. I'm gonna make a U-turn. 1, 2, 3. On throttle, here we go! Very, very smooth, very fast shifts from that 9-speed dual clutch transmission. The gauge cluster, I like the way it's got a physical bezel to where the instrumentation is, like the tachometer and everything, allows you at a quick glance to just see that information. Visibility out the front is great, visibility out the back. It really is such a special, special car. But we're gonna have to do launch control to really show you that full effect, that's for sure. Seats, the leather, soft. The bolstering is there, but it's not too over the top, which is good. And just a nice amount of room. There's just a nice amount of room in the cabin here. We're gonna come to a dead stop, and if you're ready, I'm ready. We're gonna launch this thing. On throttle, here we go, yeah! Wow! I tell you, like I said, say what you want about this car. It's really special. It handles so well, so balanced. I just wish they would have had a manual version of it. Who's gonna do a manual version, man? I wish the C8 Corvette would have a manual version. Steering wheel, I love the freaking thickness of it and how your fingers just sink in perfectly at the 9 and 3 positions on the wheel. It's like you're just locked and loaded. Look at the grip, look at the grip. It just, those front motors pull you out of the turns like no tomorrow. And then when it comes to things like driving on the road, it's not too harsh. It's easy to make a U-turn. It's easy to see out of for a supercar. But it just handles so well, so balanced. Grip level is just ridiculous. Oh yeah, baby. She wants to dance, and boy oh boy do I want to dance with her. This is one of those ones that I just don't want to get back. I don't want to get back. It's a great car. It really is a great car. It's a misunderstood car. It's an underrated supercar. And quite frankly, with the way that this one is driving, being a car that's almost 10 years old, still tight, no creaks, no rattles. Will a C8 E-Ray be like that 10 years down the road? I don't know. If I had a crystal ball, I would have picked the Powerball numbers. I wouldn't even be worried about the E-Ray. But, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this one because, like all good things, this too must come to an end. So, I'll go ahead and see you in a split second. All right, guys, what can I say? These are the days I cherish and I love bringing to you here on Rady's Rise. We got a long list of people from Jacobs Mitsubishi, Wesley Chapel to thank, Ben, Richie, Jay, Daniel, Kevin, the whole crew, getting us access to this pristine Acura NSX. Now it's your turn. Let me know what you think. Is it worth tracking one of these down, or are you just going to go buy yourself an E-Ray? Let me know how you're going to roll in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rise family. Got to give it up to Stephen Flood. He still prefers the first gen, but that's why I let him hang out with me. So at least we got that going for him. And he's pretty darn good with a camera too. So thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.